This is a presentation of USATF Productions.
And we're back here in Eugene, Oregon at Hayward Field, and I am outside with the best part of the track meet with the fans. They are ready to get inside, and we have tons of great interviews for you today. So Journey to Go Live starts now.
Welcome to your USA Track at the Field Journey to Gold live show. I'm your host, Darrell Hill. I'm here with my brother, Will Lear. We've got Michelle Carter, Dawn Harper-Nelson, and you know we've got a wonderful slate of guests coming for this show today. We are at day number 8 of the trials. We're at a bit of that grind point, man. How you feeling, Will?
You know, I'm starting to get tired, but the action tonight's going to be fired. So don't worry. Energy level's climbing right back up.
Listen, honestly, I don't really know if I can get much tired of this competition. It's been super duper cool. We've got some wonderful prelims going today. We got some women's shot put getting in action. We had the men earlier, but the women are about to get going. We've got the men's hammer going. And listen, I'm at that point of the trials where I'm done hiding my biases. We've got Kara Winger getting back into action tonight, going for her 5th Olympic team. She needs the Olympic standard. So I am sending all positive vibrations over to Kara so she can get that done.
Was there an athlete who made more friends in the sport of track and field than Kara Winger? If you were a competitor any of the years that Kara was around before she retired for the first time, she's just doing this Michael Jordan thing, right? Yeah. I retired once, I'm playing, no, I'm coming back. But everyone loves Kara. Everyone's going to be excited to see her out there tonight. Darrell, what I'm interested to see with Kara is, does she utilize all of her throws on this first round to try and get that elusive Olympic standard, take one more thing off of the table of things you got to worry about to try and make the team?
Obviously, I agree with you. I think the answer is yes. We've been doing this. We got a good wind. We got good weather. This is Eugene, so she's always thrown well here. And the one thing that's obviously she's best in the field by a few meters, right? So the thing she needs to accomplish in order to make the team is she needs that standard. Only because she's competed at the New York Grand Prix, she doesn't have world ranking like she hasn't thrown. So she needs a mark to get there. She's about 78 centimeters short, and I got a good feeling that we're going to get those 78 centimeters this weekend.
I mean, I think after that, after her first meet in New York, she felt like it was there. There's a couple of little things you can go home and tweak, but for the most part, yeah, I don't want to say it's in the bag because we got to see it first.
Absolutely, man. Listen, I'm super excited. This has been cool. I'm bringing it up to we talk about Hayward Field, right? And there's somebody that's synonymous with Hayward Field. His name's Devin Allen. We've got Mr. Devin Allen joining our show today. I'm super excited to have him out here, man. Come holler at us, man. Come talk to us. Welcome in, bro. How you feeling, brother?
Stick. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Just out here enjoying track and field. You know, coming off my knee injury I got during football, but feeling pretty good, getting healthy. But you can't beat, like you said, the weather's great. Performance is going to be great tonight. The men's 110 hurdles finals tonight, so you know I'm going to be tuned in for that.
Listen, you doing our job, man. Listen, we going to get to all of those things you just talked about. All right, so we got to slow walk it. But listen, I'm sitting here next to you. You look good. You look strong. Maybe that's that NFL weight room, you know what I'm saying, putting a couple of pounds on. But you look good. When I think about Devin Allen, I think of a dog, bro. You know what I'm saying? We're at the Olympic trials. You've come here. You've been very successful on this track. But when you were here running for the University of Oregon, this wasn't the stadium. You know what I mean? So now this almost feels like something that was built off the back of performances of people like you. How does it feel being here at Hayward Field in this wonderful stadium getting to watch the Olympic trials?
Yeah, I mean, this venue is the best in the world. Hayward Stadium is the best track and field venue in the world. And even Hayward before that, the old stadium, was probably the most electric and the coolest atmosphere in track and field before then. So it's just amazing. Like you said, the performances I've done here have all been pretty memorable for me. And, you know, a lot of it is the fans and the people here supporting the athletes. And I think we're going to see that today in some of these competitions.
We hear a lot about the Hayward Field magic. You know, in your preparations until you sustained that very unfortunate injury, you know, are you the type of guy that you're like, look, I can be 80% fit, and then Hayward Magic's going to take me to 100. That's going to push me onto the team. Or is that something still that's like, it promotes incredible performances, but you still have to be in the best shape of your life?
I think sometimes both. For me, you're spot on. Sometimes I just need to be healthy. It doesn't really matter what fitness I'm in, and I'm ready to go. And then when I come to Hayward, I just run well. And a lot of times too, the Olympic trials or the World Championship team trials, or just the national championships, all the athletes are kind of prepping for that meet, because it's almost harder to make the U.S. team for World Champs in the Olympics than it is to get through the rounds at the Olympics Games or the World Champs in a lot of events. So I think, to be honest, everybody is locked in for this 10-day window of Olympic trials. This is like their, peak, and then they're going to try to hold on for another 6 weeks for the Olympics, and you're going to get a lot of great performances.
Let's dig into that for just a second, because I think it's a really interesting thing you just brought up. Making Team USA and going through our rounds is more difficult than at the World Championships or the Olympic Games. So when you make the final, is all I got to do right now really is execute, because I've already dispersed a number of very top competitors.
100%. I'm going to be biased because I'm a hurdler.
Okay.
But you look at the men's 110 hurdles final today. Took 13:27 to make the final. Probably the fastest semifinal at U.S. Champs ever. And if you run 13:27, you will make the final at the Olympics. So it's just that fast. The Americans in a lot of events are just so competitive, and it's going to be hard to get in that top three. But I think, with this atmosphere, you're going to see a lot of special performances and a lot of upsets in terms of just, people kind of coming out of the woodworks. And you see that in some events like the sprints, but a lot of times distance. We see that in the steeplechase. Come back from injury and coming back to make the Olympic team. It's a great story.
Listen, you talked about the hurdles, and the first 2 rounds of the hurdles have been spicy. They've been spicy, to say the least, man. I know you're very close with Mr. Freddie Crittenden. Yeah. I've been listening. I watched him race. This dude looks fantastic. Freddie, I know you're not watching this because you're getting ready, but he looks fantastic. He's been killing it. I listened to his interview. He seems passionate. He's talking a bit about he's got a baby on the way, 4 months out. Congratulations to him and his wife, and just how hungry he is coming here, right? Have you had a chance to talk to him at all just before here or during here, and like how you talk to him about Freddie?
Yeah, I got to see him a couple days before competition started. I went to his Airbnb and hung out. I try not to bother him too much during comp because,
Sure.
I know how it goes. But he's ready to go. He's locked in. Training's been going well. He's healthy and confident. Really, you know how that goes. Like, you come into a meet like this feeling good and real confident, the sky's the limit. And I think, 13:05 in the semifinal, kind of jogging, celebrating through the line, he's talking 12:90, 12:80 territory as well. So
he got that look.
Exactly. He got that look. But the thing with the hurdles, right? Those 10 barriers will humble, just about anybody. So he's been running well. He's been clean all year. And a lot of the guys have been, Daniel, Grant, Trey, to name a few.
Sure.
Those are the guys that I've always competed against. So it's going to be a close race.
No, that's awesome. Listen, obviously, we've had a lot of people up here. Obviously, we're a track and field show, and we're here for Olympic trials. So people have given us their background stories talking about track and field. But Mr. Devin Allen does 2 sports, okay? So I want to know, right, we've heard about the day in the life of track and field people, what that's like. I want you to walk us through a week as an NFL wide receiver.
Okay, like in season?
Yeah.
Okay, the week's pretty.
Or whatever's more exciting in season.
No,
out of season.
no.
Give us the good stuff. I don't want that boring crap.
The
Come
good
on.
stuff. We played games Sunday.
Sure.
If we win, we get victory Monday.
Okay.
Right, so we get Monday off. That's usually not off for a lot of people. A lot of those pros treat it very seriously. They're in there recovering, getting a workout in, trying to get their body right for Wednesday practice, because then Tuesday is our true day off. A lot of times, too, those guys are in there watching film on their own or doing something to prepare for the next week.
Sure.
Right? So then we come in Wednesday, we start game planning. Usually first and second down. We have a lift in the morning, we have a walkthrough, meetings all day, lunch, and we got practice and we got meetings, and that's usually from about 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. So it's a full day. And then Thursday is the same thing. We got another, we're installing third down, fourth down stuff, and we're kind of going through the whole practice, walkthrough, meetings, practice, meetings, and then we go home. Friday's a little bit lighter.
Sure.
Short practice. We got red zone, stuff like that. We throw the trick plays in there. We practice those all the time, even though we don't use them.
Right.
And then Saturday is kind of like our pre-game. We go through the whole, we call it mock game. We go through a whole game situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to go home. We come back that night, if we're playing a home game to meetings and stuff before we go to bed. If we're traveling, we'll get on a plane, fly to where we're going.
This is busy as hell.
Busy, yeah. So if we're traveling, we go to where we're going, then have meetings, and then go to bed. Then we wake up and play the game, and then fly back home. It's a busy week.
You mentioned going to see Freddie. You mentioned how locked in he was and trying to block out the noise. Is there a difference in preparation between track and field and football?
I think track and field is much more like the preparation is you can't fake it, right? You know your fitness, you know where you're at in training.
Sure.
And so that confidence you get from just being locked in, ready to go is something you can't mimic, you can't fake. So for him, he's very ready to go, ready to compete. In football, right, it's a team sport. We're going through the week together in terms of preparation and figuring out the game plan and everything. So, you can kind of get away with, having an off play, although you try not to. But you can't really do it on the track, right? Like if you have an off day, you're out of there. But, in football, hopefully those guys are there to lift you up, even in practice, right? Like we're training and working hard, but, you can't be on every single day.
I appreciate you, bro. I got one more question for you to get out of here. Obviously, I know you've been coming back from your injury, third ACL. Listen, I was telling people all the time, I think I'm God's strongest soldier because of all the battles he's made me deal with. But when I see people like you and Marquise Denny and how you continuously overcome all these obstacles to make it back, I know you're truly special, bro. But how close did you get actually to making it back to the line here? And talk to me about 2025 and what that looks like for you.
Yeah, to be honest, I was pretty close. I started training about 14 weeks post-op, and so that was going to give me a 10-week run-in.
Okay.
And then about 2 weeks into training, I strained my hamstring.
Okay.
So that put me back 4 weeks, and then that was June 1st, and I was like, all right, I got 4 weeks to get ready, and we were just like, we don't got it. And, maybe I could come out here and run 1350, 1360, which is cool,
Sure.
5 months post-op. But
for non-Devin Allen level
but
people.
for me, it's not
That's cool for somebody else.
It'd be cool for me.
So, I didn't want to waste my, time and also take a spot from somebody that could have qualified for the Olympic trials because I know how special it is. And so now my preps are getting ready for 2025. Same goal as always. Get ready, win a gold medal in the World Champs and break the world record.
Well, listen, obviously, if you were having conversations about coming back for the trials, that lets me know that you're in a good spot, so I'm happy to hear that. Glad to see you healthy and back here enjoying Hayward Field. We are going to send it out to Michelle for some trivia, but thank you, Mr. Devin Allen.
Appreciate you guys. Love. Thank you, guys. Oh.
Why are you so nice?
What do you mean?
Oh,
no.
Let's get this by somebody else.
Yeah. No, I did see that a
We
lot.
are back with my favorite part. It is trivia and giveaways. I am looking for some very special fans in track and field to ask them a couple of questions. Let me see. Excuse me, sir. Would you like? Oh, you don't know anything? Okay, let me see. I need to find me another person. You know what? Let's go over here. I feel like I might find somebody that is knowledgeable in track and field. Well, you know what? Since you're looking at me, can you come over here and talk to me for a little bit? Hi, what's your name and where you from?
I'm Jordan Jackson. I'm from Las Vegas.
Awesome, Las Vegas. So I have a question for you. In the men's 110 hurdles, between the start line and the finish line, how many hurdles are there?
10.
Yeah, you are correct. I have a special gift for you. I'm going to give you the scarf. I think you really like the Team USA scarf. But thank you for playing with us. Have a good day. All right, let me see. Let me find somebody else that might know track and field. Some questions. Let's see. Hi, sir. How are you today? Would you mind answering a couple of trivia questions for me? Yes, sir. All right. Can you tell me your name and where you're from?
Ralph Freitman from the Bay Area.
Awesome. Bay Area. My question to you is, who was the last American man to win a gold medal in the men's 110 hurdles?
I have no idea.
Oh, man. Okay, you any name comes to mind?
No.
Okay, let me keep moving. I need another. You know. Okay, you ready? Tell me your name and where you're from.
I'm Griffin from Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay, Phoenix, Arizona. So my question is, who was the last American man to win a gold medal in the 110 hurdles for Team USA?
Grant Holloway.
Oh, no. Think of one more name. Somebody older. Let me see if you might get it. Somebody a little older.
I don't know.
All right. Well, thank you for participating. Let me see. Anybody else? He said, no, not me. Not me. Okay. All right, let's see. I'm going to go right here. Hi, sir, ma'am. How are y'all doing today? I'm doing great. I have a question. Are you know track and field?
Do I know track and field?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. I have a question for you. Tell me your name and where you're from.
David Fix, Portland, Oregon.
Awesome. He's from Portland, Oregon. My question to you is, who was the last American to win gold in the men 110 hurdles?
The 110s, oh my. See, I was a distance coach here.
Okay.
And I coached under Bowerman, so that's a long time ago, but yes.
Okay, who's the gentleman? I can't think of his name. His mom and dad didn't want him to be a hurdler, and they were all about education, and he ended up.
I'd go way back to.
Give me one guess. I'm gonna help you out. 2012.
2012. Oh man, I am disappointed.
Well, let me give you another question. I'm gonna give you one more time, a different question. How many times have Hayward Field host the U.S. Olympic trials?
Oh, jeez.
I just saw this morning.
See, the educated one here.
80, 82, not 84, because they were in L.A., and then they went to Sacramento a couple years. So, 10,
Close. Give me another number.
9,
One more.
8.
Correct. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. This gift is for you, a set of pins from USATF Journey Live. Yes. All right. Oh, well, happy birthday.
I'm celebrating 72% of a century.
Well, we absolutely love it. Thank you for spending it with us at the best place in the world. Thank you. All right, we have one more question, y'all. One more. You want to play trivia with us today? Okay. All right. I'm looking for my next trivia person. Let me see. Well, you're eating. I'm going to let him make it. All right. Let me see. Right over here. Hi, sir. Oh, well, you're eating too. Hi, how are you? Do you think you know a couple of track and field trivia questions? You want to get okay? In the men's 110 hurdles, who was the last U.S. American man to win gold?
Oh, I have no idea.
Take a wild guess.
I don't know.
Okay, well, thank you for participating. All right. Let me see. Let me one more person. I know there's somebody out here that would know this answer. Let's see. Let's keep walking. Hi, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Do you want to play a trivia game with us? I have a question for you. Do you mind?
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Can you tell me your name and where you're from?
I'm Todd Taylor. I'm from Molalla, Oregon.
Oh, awesome. All right. My question to you is, who was the last U.S. American men 110 hurdles gold medal winner?
Grant Holloway.
Oh, no. Is it somebody a little older than that?
Oh, no.
Yes, sir.
Going way back. Hurdler.
Hurdler, yes. Okay, let me see. You,
See, come on.
okay, I should have asked you a question about me. But no, it's okay. Let me see. I'm going to ask your friend here. All right, sir. Can you tell me your name and where you're from?
I'm Bo Knight. I'm from Richfield, Washington. It's a hurdler. Aries Millet.
Aries Mary, I'll take it. Congratulations. Thank you so much for playing. Here is your gift. We have a HyperVault for you, so you massage your muscles if you get sore or you have a day you just need an extra love on yourself. There you go. Oh, that's perfect. That's even better. That's points for you. All right, thank you for playing. Darrell, back to you.
Listen, I'm shaking my head at these Hayward Field fans. They struggling with these trivia questions. Listen, I know it's been a while, man, but Aries Merritt, come on, man, that's one of our legends of the sport, Will.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know what I don't know, but I knew the answers to those questions.
Listen, I could use me a HyperVault too, Michelle, so bring that thing back up to the desk and see if you can ask me those questions. But we got Talia Brooks on the desk. newly crowned Olympian. How are you doing after 7 events? How's your body holding up? How you feeling?
Oh my goodness, I feel fantastic. I
Okay.
mean, I'm excited. I think it took a couple days to kind of like come down and like realize what was going on.
Sure.
The body's healing up. I got some bruises. I broke a nail. It was brutal out there.
It was brutal out
but
there.
I'm doing well. I'm recovering.
The heptathlon is a contact sport, for sure.
Absolutely.
You said you were running under the set today because you just done a recovery lift. Tell the fans what that means.
Basically, I mean, I took a few days off, but then my coach was like, we got to get some movement in. So I went to the track, just jogged a little bit, did a few strides, and then went in the weight room and did some like bar stuff. Nothing heavy, just trying to get some range of motion so I can get some of this soreness out. It's crazy you work out to get the soreness out.
You
that
work
seems
out to feel
backwards.
better. Sure.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, obviously I'm coaching now. I'm doing a lot of things. I'm here doing media. Like I missed up 100 jobs right now. So, and I know all my kids back at school are watching this, and that's probably been one of my favorite things is listen to all these elite athletes talk about the things they've got to do to help the body move forward. Like recovery lifts sound crazy to the person who's not trying to be great, man. But if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Sometimes sitting at home in the bed is not what's going to make you feel better. So you got to get out and move a little bit.
Also, totally took that dig, bro. For those of us that aren't trying to be great at
Right.
recovery lift, come on.
Period.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. But listen, obviously we made it to the Olympics. But I want to walk it back, right? You've been one of our most popular athletes. You've been very talented. You've done a lot for a long time. You know what I'm saying? But it feels like this road coming all the way up from graduating, was it 2017? 2018 all the way up to here, 2024. It's been long, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of success in between. Talk to me about the development over those 6 years to get to this point.
Yeah, I think it's been crazy. The heptathlon is definitely one of those events where it takes some years to kind of learn it. And I think I really just started to really grasp it a few years ago. I think a lot of people are familiar with what happened in 2021. And
we're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about that. But I think it just...
If you don't want to, we don't have
we
to.
can talk about it. We can talk about it, especially now with the result that we have.
We'd
but
love to see
I think
it.
it just
Hell yeah.
took a lot of mental, physical, spiritual growth, learning myself outside of the track, finding things that made me happy, and then really being okay with giving it another try. Because obviously you come here, I said this the other day, like everyone that's out there is deserving. And I think the last time around that was something that hit me hard. It's like, well, I did all the work. Why did this happen to me? But just because you come out here doesn't mean that you're going to make the team. You have to earn your spot. And I did that through every single event.
Sure. I think I seen a picture of you that you posted back in, maybe it was the 2020, 22, and somebody was helping you off the track and the guy had a shirt on that said delayed, not denied.
Yeah, that was my dad. That was
we didn't even know that was Pops.
That was Pops.
We
He
didn't
was
know it was
here.
Pops.
That was last year.
Okay.
So that was USA's last year, and that's kind of been the motto, like delayed but never denied. Because again, you put the work in. It might not have happened then, but if you keep being strong, you keep doing the work, you keep hard in your faith, then it's gonna happen. And when it's your time, it's your time. It can't be denied.
I think you spoke. This was really cool because I didn't even know that was Pops in that picture. But one of the things I really wanted to talk to you about was family. You know, I was out here when you guys were getting your awards at getting your podium and stuff like that, and I saw Anna Hall and all the people who look like Anna Hall. You know, they all look alike. Her mom and her dad, and I saw Shari and all the people with the orange shirt. She had a big group here, but I saw your family was present here, and I feel like they've been around her always here. So can you talk to me about your family, how important that is to you, and bringing them along this journey with you?
Absolutely. I definitely wouldn't be here without my family and their support. Being an elite athlete is hard enough. So them coming out here, them making the trip, I think was super special. They were there in 2021. They were there in 2023. So to give them this moment, I think was just icing on the cake. Because it's nice for me, but it's also nice for them because when you don't make teams or when you experience those downfalls, like they experience that too. And it's hard for them. So to see them smiling, to see them crying, all the things, it made me really happy.
Love it.
It seems to me that multi-event competitions, they can kind of go south on a moment's notice. We've seen it happen not just to yourself, but to other great athletes that they're nailing event after event after event and then trip on a hurdle, right? What has your strategy been to be so successful over 7 events here at the trials?
Well, usually I'm a fantastic hurdler. There's not very many times
I love
where
that. I'm a fantastic hurdler.
Fantastic hurdler. Chris Johnson is my coach. We know the history there. Obviously, his brother Boogie's right across the track, hurdle mechanic. So I'm a fantastic hurdler. There's not a lot of people that can beat me in the hurdles.
Okay.
However, at this track meet, I tripped on like hurdle 8, almost fell. And that was the first time that I've started.
We got
oh,
some
here we go,
right
here. Yeah, see, not good. But I stayed on my feet. And this was the first time that I've started with like a bad hurdle time and had to work my way out of that. And so I think for the HEP and the deck, you have to take it one event at a time. Because had I taken that 13:30 and just let it like get me down, it did get me down for about 20 minutes. But by the time I came out for the high jump, I had to be a high jumper.
Sure.
I couldn't be a high jumper that was still worrying about the hurdles.
Sure.
You got to take it one at a time, good or bad. Try to stay even. Just work your way through them.
So you kind of already just alluded to one, but being the hurdles where you can claw back some points in Paris, are there any other events from your performance here this week that you're like, okay, I can get some easy points for me to get back and climb up those ranks?
Yeah, I think hurdles and long jump for sure. Again, I'm a really good long jumper.
That's your other one, man.
That's my bread and butter, and I jumped 6:29, but I was having some trouble like warming up. My knees were. I was having some physical trouble. So to be able to even put a 6:29 on the board, I was happy with it with the circumstances. Again, I think it just shows like Olympic trials. Everyone is rising up, and Coach Johnson was telling me that. He's like, it's Olympic trials. We've got to put something on the board.
Sure.
I was able to do that, and so I was really proud of my composure throughout the events because a lot of times I'll get super emotional or like. I'll just be like, I'm losing it, Coach Johnson. And this meet, I was really able to hold it together, and I think that's what pulled me through.
I need y'all. Can y'all bring me that javelin clip back up? I need that javelin clip one more time.
The javelin was crazy. You
that.
Would appreciate my throws.
Come
you
on.
Would appreciate both of them.
I'm about to say, do you want me to tell the story or you want to tell the story?
You can tell it.
Okay, all right. So
Hype
listen.
me up.
Talia Brooks, we are at was it Murphy Classic last summer, and I'm actually competing in this competition. And I'm watching Talia throw, and listen, it just wasn't really given. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really given. It was to the point I was like, yo, can I help you out? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to give her some tips. And obviously it was a day, right? But we come into this year, and we come into this finals. Obviously you talked about the hurdles and how that didn't go your way. The long jump didn't go your way. But we got this javelin competition here. Talk me through the javelin.
Yeah, I mean, on the first throw, I think I threw like 32 meters, which is not good, but still not terrible for me. But Michelle came out and threw 43 meters, and I'm not going to lie, that was like a dagger to the heart. I was like, all right, I got to find something. But we've been working really hard on it. TJ Crater came on as my throws coach, and he's like really poured into me. He's put a lot of confidence, positive words, and just throughout that competition, he kept his composure. And I was like, okay, he believes I can throw 40 meters, so I'm just going to trust him because at this point, I can't do anything else. Like, trusting myself got me 32 meters, so I just trust TJ, and we put one out there.
I love it. And we got another big performance in the shot put as well. So listen, shout out TJ. TJ is one of my good friends. So I'm glad that the connection was able to happen because listen, sometimes, like you know, you're going to get through a multi, you're going to have 7 events, and you might clip a hurdle. And there's other events like Will said, man, where we got to come to stuff. So I'm glad to see that you were able to get a PR there. But just talking about the preparation as we go between here and Paris, what does that look like? Are we training? Are we competing? What does preparation look like before Paris?
I think we're going to keep it the same as what we've done for this year. I probably won't compete. I'll go back home, work on some of those events, sharpen up, you know, in my better events, which is odd. But just continue to train, make sure the body is healthy, make sure I'm feeling good going into Paris, and give myself a shot at a medal.
The women's HEP team, and you take out a couple outliers on Instagram, but you guys are the most followed group on social media of track and field athletes. What do you think it is about, you know, the three of you especially that draws so many eyes?
You know, I'm glad you say that because we do probably have the most followers. There's the least amount of people in the stands watching us, but we're a good-looking group.
It was some people out there for the morning session. It was some people out there.
It was some people out there.
Fair.
It was
facts.
It was some
also
people.
facts.
But she ain't lying.
You know, but
she ain't lying.
I think we have a lot of personality. All three of us, we're all very different.
Sure.
But I think people appreciate what we do on the track and off the track. And I think we do good for our sport as a HEP, maybe not so much in track and field, but as heptathletes, I think that we do a good job. We try to bring eyes. We perform when we need to.
Sure.
I mean, Anna Hall came out here and did her thing, as did Shari. So I think people appreciate that. And I guess they reward us with the follow. But shout out to my girls.
We love to see it. Well, listen, obviously we know you got big things planned for Paris, but I want to pause right here and congratulate you on the moment right here of becoming an Olympian,
Thank
right?
you.
We know the summer's going to be big, but sometimes we don't stop and smell the roses for a minute. So I want to congratulate you in this moment on making the team, and I know the summer's going to be special for you, man. So
Thank
best of luck.
you. Thank you so
Listen,
much.
Talia Brooks is here. She is coming. Paris, we coming. We going to turn it up. But before that, we going to send it out to the fan zone, man, because it's lit.
Thank you.
Listen, it was hard to do this interview, man, because I could smell this wonderful food that they got going on out in the fan zone. Exactly. We got more Olympians coming. We're switching her out for another very, very special guest. Hello. Talia Brooks is special, man. She is very, very special, bro.
Electric athlete.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, indeed. But speaking of electric athletes, we got another electric athlete, Miss Valerie Constine. How are we doing today, two-time Olympian?
Doing really well. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. No, thank you for being here, man. How's the body recovering after such an electric performance?
I'm pretty sore, actually. And so I am really looking forward to some rest and recovery tonight, maybe a massage, and just kind of take things slow and recover for Paris.
I love it.
Val, last night's race, I don't think anyone could have predicted it going the way that it did. Maybe talk us through some of the key moments where you're like, unwavering belief, I've got this in the bag, or holy crap, we are running so unbelievably fast, I have no idea how this is going to go.
Great question. I didn't for a moment doubt myself or even look at the clock. I just was ready to race, and I tried to just tell myself to stay calm for as long as possible. And then with 300 to go, actually more like 350 to go, I realized I just needed to get after it and go for gold.
I love that.
But so we got it right here. You coming over that last water jump. Obviously, you coming down the home stretch here, out of that last water jump, knowing that, as long as you get across the tape, you're qualifying for your second Olympic Games. So talk to me about the feeling coming off that last water jump.
Definitely coming off that last water jump, I tried to just have the best form possible and just be super efficient and powerful and just eyes on the finish line. And that last hurdle came up really fast, and I just did my best to just leap over it as quickly as possible. And then that last 60 meters to the finish, I had no idea who was next to me. I had no idea if they were right on my shoulder or if they were 100 meters back. And I didn't care. I just wanted to be the first person to cross that tape. So clearly very motivated in that image right there.
Love it.
So you're the third fastest American of all time, behind Courtney Frerichs and Emma Coburn.
Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that one more time?
The third fastest American of all time. You took an enormous chunk off of your personal best. Is it the Hayward Field magic, or is Val Constine the next queen of steeplechasing in America?
Well, I think that, the two titans that are ahead of me right now are definitely always going to be the queens of steeplechase, but I hope that I can get my crown in my own way. There's definitely some Hayward magic for sure. I mean, this facility is perfect. The track is perfect. The steeple pit with the water is beautiful and the barriers are nice. So I think it was a culmination of everything, but I hope there's more to come.
So 903, Val, this does, we have to acknowledge this, right? That takes your name from, you're probably going to make the final around that 912, 911 range too.
Oh, we changed the game, baby.
We've changed the game.
And
I don't want to project expectations, but has it set into you, like, I'm a different athlete right now?
I think definitely. I think I've just started to realize just how good I am. I feel like every athlete kind of has that. We're sure they're on the cusp, but then once they actually do have that breakout race, that confidence comes along too. And you go from thinking, oh, I hope I can make the final at the Olympics, to holy smokes, like I could be up there top 5, maybe top 3. And so if I can have a race like I did, last night, then who knows what could happen. But I'm just really excited for the opportunity to be in Paris with Team USA.
That's awesome. Listen, I want to walk it back a little bit, right? Because we do these things called predictions on our show, and I predicted you to win the race. So thank you very much. We keeping the scores. Don't you worry, we're going to talk a lot more about that. But as I was preparing for this and getting just comfortable with the field and who was involved, I went back, and one of the races that I studied of yours was Prefontaine. Right, so amongst Americans, it was pretty tight. You were coming down in the last stretch, and you lost at the line to Courtney Wayment. She set a PR, right? And I want to know, did you feel that at all as she was taking it out, coming through the last 400 meters, and knowing what that race was like previously, the last time you guys lined up? Did you feel that at all coming to here in that last 400 meters? Did you feel like, I got to put this thing away because I know she's coming? Talk to me about feeling the competitors as you're going and ready to make your move.
Yeah, great question. I actually beat Courtney Wayman in pre by like 1,000th of a second, And so I knew, but the thing is, she was 4 seconds ahead of me with 600 to go.
Sure.
And so I was kind of definitely off that pace, and I had to close really hard to try to beat her. And so this time my strategy was, well, if she gets ahead of me, it might be hard to catch her. So if I'm just with her, then I can just sprint as hard as I can at the end and hopefully go for the win. But Courtney Wayman's a really tough competitor, and I don't think that she should ever be overlooked. And that's why I was pushing so hard there in the last 60 meters, because I had no idea if she was going to be coming up on me and if it would be as close as it was at pre.
Sure. I watched the interview you did yesterday, and you talked about work-training balance. You know what I'm saying? So you talk about you work from home, you work a job.
Yeah.
And I want to know, do you feel like working a job takes away at all from just the mental stress that we feel as elite athletes? Talk to me about that balance.
Yeah, great question. It's kind of nice to have a job, because instead of thinking about, oh man, I have training tonight, or oh man, I have to get up early for training tomorrow, you can kind of just think about your job, and you can compartmentalize and be like, okay, I just have to finish this project today. And then, oh wow, it's already 4 p.m.
Sure.
Wow, the day really went by. And since I'm working from home, I can sit down at the couch, or I can sit down at my desk. I can get up and drink water whenever I want.
Sure.
And so it's really quite conducive. And so I actually really like it. It's a nice distraction.
What do you do?
I work in quality assurance and product, and
Okay.
so I work at a tech company in Boulder, and yeah, it's a great gig.
So you're the person that's kind of like, this is Valerie Constine calling this for quality assurance purposes. Do you say that when you call people?
Luckily, I don't have to call
I
people.
love it.
Luckily, I just do internal stuff, but yeah.
I love it. Well, listen, you were fantastic last night. That competition was amazing. I'm so glad that you have an opportunity to go back for a second Olympic Games. I know the first one didn't go your way, but after watching you run, I feel like this is going to be a special one for you.
Thank you so much.
I want to wish you best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Valerie Constine. Stay with us. Listen, we keeping this thing rolling. We got more wonderful guests coming up. This one right here is special to me. Miss Brittany Reese coming to the desk. I got to stand up and give you a proper greeting. How you doing? I'm good. Pull up. Yeah, listen, we got a little setup.
It's pretty good, right?
We got a little setup, man.
It's not bad.
Shout out my guy Adam, man. He put this thing together for us.
Shout out to Adam.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I don't got to do no notes here, but I had to do notes here because I'm gonna read this off, and I don't want to mess nothing up. All right.
If anyone needs a bathroom break, this
right,
takes a
yeah.
while.
No, ain't no bathroom break. I need y'all to hear this. Olympic gold medalist, 2-time Olympic silver medalist, 7-time world champion, indoor world record holder. What's that? 723 indoors? Okay, 723. One of the most, listen, when we talk about GOAT, we have GOAT conversations. I don't really think this one is disputable right here. That's just how I'm feeling. But when you were competing, I felt like went unnoticed in some ways, right? A little bit underappreciated. Do you feel like that's changed at all in retirement?
Yeah, it's changed a little bit, but I'm on the opposite side of things now, trying to do more things for more field athletes and bring more awareness to the field events. So, it's not about me no more. It's just about the athletes now.
I love it.
That does actually perfectly cue up one of the questions I had for you, Brittany. In my role as the chair of the Athletes Commission, I work a lot with our horizontal jumpers, and I hear a lot about the inequities of track and field. What are some things that, and I'll put it this way, that are nice to haves and must haves to make a successful jumper?
Shoot, you got to have some speed.
Oh, you got to bring that mic up. You know you got a little voice.
My bad. You're going to have some speed. I feel like that's a key thing that helped me out. And then you got to have the right mindset. I came in, I wanted to be, if I wasn't the LJ beast for no reason, like I had that beast mentality. You got to be a dog out here. You got to fight every day because you got to compete against the world. So when you had that dog and you got that speed, there's nothing wrong with it.
And how about in terms of like support networks, facilities, coaches?
Yeah. So
are those more important than money?
Well, for me it was because I'm a jumper, so we don't really get paid like that. But I train at the Olympic Training Center, so I was blessed enough to have a great coach there. I had a great facility there. I had great medical there, nutritionist. Anything that I needed, it came to me pretty easily. But it's not. I wasn't as. There's more athletes that are not as fortunate as I was. But to me, to be able to get to that stage, you probably do got to have those things are more important than money.
Sure. Listen, When I think about you, I think about longevity.
Yes.
I had the pleasure of also being at the Olympic Training Center.
Yes,
I was out there a lot of them practices.
there.
Jeremy Fisher put it out there and say, I need 7 meters, and I give you $100 on the day.
And I will get it.
And she would get it. I'm telling you, when he put that out there, he said, hey, Brittany, $100 if you get over 7 meters a day. She was getting that $100. I don't actually think I was at any of those practices, and you didn't get 7 meters.
I think it wasn't. I think probably once out of my whole time out there.
Do you feel like in your competition you actually got your best jumps into the meet? If not, can you talk to me about some of your best moments in training that maybe people didn't get to see?
So I was jumping like in training from a short approach. I can jump 7 meters easily from a short approach, but it just when you're out in the competition, I guess for me it was like depending on how the competition was going. If the other girls was jumping 7 meters, then I'm like, okay, it's a 7 meter day.
Right.
But if they wasn't jumping 7 meters, then it was not that much for me to go jump 7 meters. But practice was, I mean, we had Will Clay, Chris Bernard, and those type of athletes, and Couture. And, you know, it's a battle every practice. And in order for me to be on top, I had to beat them.
Absolutely.
We've sort of seen a drop-off in medal attainment in the women's long jump. On a high-performance scale, we talk about this a lot internally at USA Track and Field. When you have someone who is so dominant, does it force athletes to go a different route?
Yeah.
You need that speed. Well, maybe I'll use this speed to run the hurdles. Maybe I'll use it to run the flat 100.
Yeah.
What do you think about your legacy as one of the most legendary jumpers we've ever had, and how has that worked to inspire? You know, maybe it's not this next generation because it's the next.
Yeah. So for me, I feel like I'm a high school coach now, and that's just my way that I give back.
What do they call you at practice? What's your coach name?
Coach Reese.
Okay, Coach Reese. All right, keep going.
Coach Reese.
Coach Reese. All right.
Yeah, Coach Reese out there. But yeah, with them, that's just my way of giving back to the sport and giving back to the event. So I'm lucky enough to have my long jumper is a 2-time state champion, coached by me.
Okay.
And she won the triple jump also in state. So it's just a way for me to give back, and the longevity it just came with it. You just gotta, I was dominant, but I had a lot of support system behind me.
Tara Davis.
Yes, sir.
What do you see when you see Tara Davis? He talked about the drop off a little bit, right?
Yeah.
We got her here. She looked fantastic in
Yeah,
qualifying. One and done. She did her thing. Every time I had the pleasure of watching her jump in New York. Crushed it. She's doing the thing. She's got a lot of media, a lot of positive buzz going for the sport. When you see somebody like Tara Davis, what do you think?
She's bringing a little something different to the event. I'm more chill, reserved, and she's more bubbly.
Right.
And more social media.
Sure.
And she's bringing that attention. But it's a good thing because she's jumping far, and she has a great chance to go out there and medal.
Sure. I want to talk to you about the men's long jump.
Yeah.
Now, we got Tara Davis in the women's long jump, so she's got this thing taken off. We got Quenisha Burks, we got Monet Nichols, we got Tiffany Flynn. The women have been, obviously, we don't have as many people on the Beat Reese level, but the women have been kind of holding it down, and we see some of the resurgence going on.
Yeah.
The men, it feels like it's in a little bit of a transitional state.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about the men's long jump? Because obviously we've got historical precedence of being great there, right? What do you see in that event, and what do you feel like we need to get back to that dominance?
So I had a little conversation with Dwight Phillips, I think it was yesterday, while we was watching the women's long jump, and that kind of question kind of came up, and he said they don't sprint as much no more.
Sure.
And I kind of agree with it. We don't really see many long jumpers go out there and run 100. I had to run 100. Start my season off with at least 1 or 2 hundreds,
right, or
a 60-meter dash or something like that indoors. And he said he think they just don't sprint enough. And I kind of agree with him. They look a little flat, not as fast. Some of them bigger than what I thought they would be.
Okay. That boy's heavy.
Yeah, them boys is heavy. But I just feel like it's just the sprinting part. We're not getting that turnover that we used to.
Do you think there's a component of this that ladders up to the new world ranking system, right? Where we used to have our A standard, we'd have our B standard. We never had to deal with trying to get on our rankings quota. And so if I'm going to go compete, I'm going to go compete in something where I can earn points that can advance my ranking.
Yeah, and I feel like we don't get it. I think because we're not jumping as far, we're not getting accepted into those type of meets to get the world rankings. And now we don't see that, nobody in the men's long jump had the standard. And, that's kind of unfortunate because we used to jumping that far. So I feel like the standards and the college kids, and they don't get that opportunity to go overseas and get those type of points that they needed now. So, it's just really unfortunate. But I mean, it is what it is. We have to adjust to what they're giving us.
Well, obviously, you're here in Eugene, Oregon for the Olympic trials. You obviously here to watch some track and field, but
Yes,
you're working
sir.
on some other things too. Talk to me a bit about what you got going on.
So right now, I'm a track town ambassador, jump ambassador. So just bringing awareness to the jumps. But like I said, I love track and field in general. So I want to bring something to all athletes. So we started the gold medal mixer, and we've been doing it at the hotel, the main hotel.
Okay.
And just been trying to have vibes, giving vibes, because we see these type of things at the NBA and we see it at the NFL level, and we don't have anything to where athletes can come and hang out, chill, be able to, merge with sponsorships and things like that. So we have brought sponsorships out. They loving the candy out here with the sour strips we got down.
Love it, love it.
And we Solvin brand, Gold Bar, whiskey, like all that type of stuff, and we just trying to get the athletes to have some good vibes and relax.
That's awesome. Listen, before I get out of here, one final question. Are you having another Halloween party, and can I get some banana pudding? Y'all, listen, B. Reese banana pudding is different. Now, she the GOAT at long jumping, and she make the GOAT level banana pudding as well.
Yes. I got you.
I appreciate it. Well, listen, thank you so much for stopping by with us today. I appreciate it. The long jump GOAT, track and field ambassador, and Coach Reese to them young ones.
Thank you.
We send it out to the fan zone, man, because we got a lot going on. A lot of people here getting ready for another day of track and field, day number 8. But the fun at the desk is not stopping because we are turned. We getting a 2-for-1. We got a 2-for-1. The desk is electric right now, man. We just had Brittany Reese, we had Talia Brooks, we had Devin Allen, and the fun is not stopping. We've got the Olympic gold medalist and now 2-time Olympian Valerie Allman and Coach Zeb Zion. How y'all feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah?
I am still riding the high from last night and so happy to be here, be with this amazing set list. It's been a good day so far.
Well, listen, you bringing the vibes up, but I want to get straight down to it. I know your time is precious, okay? When I think about you, right, I think you are a poster child for long-term development. You know what I'm saying? When you were coming out of Stanford, obviously you were All-American. You were a very talented discus thrower. I think you threw 60. Was it PR in college, 61 something?
Yeah,
right, which is very good, right? We young women right now trying to do the same thing. But we're here 8 years later, 1 Olympic gold medal, and we're on the precipice of hopefully a second one, right? Talk to me about what's been able to allow you to sustain. Maybe it's this guy sitting next to you. Talk to me about the last 8 years and what's allowed you to develop over this time.
Yeah, I mean, you set me up pretty dang well to pass the buck over to this guy.
Oh, really? Is that
listen, I want if the answers I want to hear from both of you.
Snoop was just on here, so puff, puff, pass.
Right. I love it.
No, I think that it's been amazing, her ability to be so consistent for so long and for the last several years. But to your point, I mean, it does go back, right? Like there was a time where, she thought about getting out of the sport and, working for Microsoft and pursuing, engineering and those type of things. But luckily she didn't.
Luckily for us all.
Exactly. But I think it's just been, it's been adjustments to training. It's been, her consistency, her, diligence, her, dedication. It's been just next level. And I think, we've made some smart decisions, obviously, throughout the path. But, yeah, no, it's been a great combination of things, I think. All the variables, really working well together.
Awesome.
I'm going to steal this question. Jarrell, we were talking about this interview a little before as we were prepping for the show. But for a lot of athletes, just making the team is an accomplishment. When you come in as such an overwhelming favorite, maybe the heaviest favorite in the entire track meet, that's got to come with its own set of pressures. Talk us through sort of how you prepare for this meet versus how you go to prepare for the next big one at the Olympic Games.
Yeah, I feel like pressure is something that I'm starting to kind of view as a friend. We get along pretty well, and I know that we're always going to be together and got to make it work. And I think we really chose to view this trials as kind of a mock Olympics. The stage in Paris is going to be really competitive, and it's going to take that 70-meter type throw on the day to walk away with a gold medal, and that's what we're really aiming to do. So we took this opportunity here at trials to come in, execute, and see where we're at. And it really does just give me a lot of confidence heading into this next cycle to know as my body keeps coming back, I keep trusting his plan that we're going to be in a good spot to really go for it at the Olympics.
Listen, we got the footage right here of your 70-meter throw last night to seal the deal on you qualifying for your second Olympic Games. Talk to me about getting to sign the Eiffel Tower and what that experience was like.
It was, I feel like just watching that, it really does feel like one of those movie moments.
Sure.
You know, I've been in the movie too where it doesn't quite play out the way you hope, you know, of being at the last 2 World Championships, being so close to being a world champion.
Sure.
And that moment getting away, and to have that 6th-round throw, everyone clapping, be able to do it, and then get to go over, sign this beautiful Eiffel Tower. I mean, I'm still pinching myself. I'm glad I get to watch the video and see that really happened. It was pretty cool.
Listen, obviously, if you see Valerie's hair right here on the screen, it's windy. I was hoping for a little bit of that wind yesterday to break the 5th wall in our show. We do predictions. We had an over-under set on 71 even. I took the over. Listen, I believed. I took the over. He said, you too. That's funny. That's funny. Talk to me about your preparations coming in here, right? Because as Will said, obviously coming here, listen, you might have had to trip and fall in the ring almost to not qualify, even though we know it's serious, right? But that's the level of favor you were here. But watching you throw in the qualifying, we knew you were ready. So talk to me about coming into this meet, and what did you see in your training that made you feel like far throws are possible right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes it's hard to, as you get more experience, you obviously have those certain metrics you really look at that give you confidence. But I think a lot of it is the real estate in your head, you know, of do I know that I'm ready to go in and try to be the best I've ever been? And I think that's been a lot of the conversation we've been trying to have is how can I push the limits for myself? How can I maximize my potential? And we just had seen some of those metrics, whether it was in the weight room, whether it was in technique, but the goal was to go out and throw a season best, and I know if I keep doing that, eventually that SB is going to turn to a PB, and that is going to feel good. So after that prelim, I thought I was close. Sure. You know, I really wanted it in that final. And
you and me both, man. You and me both. Now listen, no blame, because listen, we'll take 76. We'll take 76 any day of the week, man. But I was hoping for that 71 as well.
Yeah. Your series yesterday,
fantastic.
I mean, it was unbelievable. Every throw was just on point. One of the things that I always love to see is your interaction with the fans as you go over to talk to Zeb and get notes. I want to know, when you're having such a good series and you kind of know from maybe one of the early throws that it's locked up, are we coming over? Are we talking about dinner plans? Are we talking about what kind of bottle of champagne we're popping tonight? What are you guys talking about in between throws?
Well, early yesterday, we were definitely talking about a lot of technique, you know,
Sure.
and she was trying to find that. And then I told her at one point, I was like, I'm techniqued out. I'm over it, you know what I mean? We're moving on. We just need to hit this thing. And so that's really when her energy changed. She hit the 69 and then built on that, and then eventually through the 70. But yeah, we definitely, she needed that, a little bit of more energy, a little more fire, because it was just a little too technical, you know? Whereas on the prelim day, she was feeling that internal tension. She was a little ball of fury for sure, you know? So. Yeah,
I think there maybe was one little blip of Tracktown pizza orders. I'm not
mad at that. Listen, I'm not mad at that Tracktown. I can almost smell it. We're not too far away from it. Listen, I do want to talk about last year, right? Obviously, coming into the World Championships as a heavy favorite, Lagi has the best over her life at that period of time. She gets the medal. She gets the gold medal. I want to talk about dealing with that moment and how you guys implement that in training to prepare for something like that as it comes up potentially in Paris or moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think that moment has lingered with me. And
sure. Which is not always negative either, people out there. Sometimes you got to let things sting a little bit.
I think you always learn more when you're not on the top of the podium.
Sure.
And if you have the right perspective about that, I think it can be your superpower. And I've really tried to lean into that. And I know there's always going to be that moment in competition where it gets hot or someone takes the lead and you have to have a response, or you got to be in it and you got to know you can do it.
Right.
And I think it's less about practicing techniques of okay, now I respond. It's more just how do we continue to elevate? So ideally I don't have to be in that response.
Sure.
You know, I mean, it's pretty cool that I've required my competitors to have 3-meter PBs, 4-meter PBs to be able to beat me on the date. You know, that's good, but I want to be able to continue to elevate and just know that when we're going into the meet, our goal is that 70-meter mark. And if we can hit that, it's gonna be. If
we get into 70, it ain't too many people in the history of this thing that's hanging around at 70 meters. So I think that's a very good barrier to think about.
Thank you, Darrell.
Coach Zeb, you're not the brains, but you're part of the brains behind the operation. I know she's got a big one in the noggin there.
Stanford nerd.
Nerds. How do you approach training an athlete with such a big brain? And is it different? I mean, obviously training is a personalized endeavor, but like when you have someone who's so smart, so introspective, obviously she knows the event very well. What do you find to like A, to motivate, and B, where you're like, all right, this is the thing that we can maybe work on together to take Val to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely starts with trust. I think because a lot of times if you have those super intelligent athletes, if they don't trust or believe in what we're doing in a partnership, then I think it's easy to get caught up. It's easy to think a little maybe too much for themselves, right? It's easy to be like, well, I think we should actually do this instead. So the trust component was huge, and that's been that way for a while. But I think that challenging her in real ways is also important, right? Because she is always thinking about how can I be better and what can we do to make that next step. And last year at the end, we had a long debrief, right? And when it kind of played out the way it did, and it's like, okay, how do we actually elevate this thing? And we do that in a lot of ways, and a lot of it's like how we talk about technique, how we talk about performance, how we view a season and success. And I think some of those things, like she was saying, in between her ears are the biggest things. So I mean, I think coming in this year, we have elevated her. She's thrown Diamond League PBs, that we view at various categories, right? We got Diamond League PB, we got Stadium PB, just various ways to think about it that are maybe a little different. And I think that, keeps her thinking, and challenging her in a different way. So
Brittany Reese was talking about there were certain days where Jeremy Fisher would come out and put a $100 bill out the 7-meter mark and say, we need a 7-meter jump from you right now.
That's not hyperbole, ladies and gentlemen. I was there. That was facts.
That's crazy.
And I only believe it because Jarrell told me it was real. Well, are there some things that you guys do in practice to keep it fun, to keep it light, but also drive that competitive spirit?
I feel like it's less about the competitive spirit, to be honest. I mean, Zebulon doesn't offer me any money for throwing it, which made me think about this.
Listen, maybe we're making some changes. So we'll see about that next week.
Send me the invoice.
Right.
But I think so much of throwing is it's such a technical event that it's all about rhythm and timing. And he's more excited sometimes if I back off and I hit the right technique and the discus maybe goes 55 to 60 meters than if I'm blowing through the ring trying to hit that thing, because he knows that in the moment if I execute the right technique, that's what leads to the biggest results. So we're always playing good music and having fun. I mean, I'm grateful for the bond we have. I think that's one of the most energizing parts of our dynamic, but it's just taking it day by day and trying to get after it.
What music are you listening to?
You
guys a couple of Swifties over here? What's the deal?
Oh, for sure.
I love it.
Sometimes I have to put the brakes on that. You know what I mean? It's that's a little too much.
You put the brakes. You're I'm getting too excited now.
I've had enough. Oh, well, or that way.
We listen to a lot of country music, a lot of more
that's that Texas.
Stuff.
That's that Texas love right there.
Exactly.
Morgan Wallen's probably our number one guy.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Listen, I love it. Before I let you guys get out of here, I got to nerd out on some throws a little bit. All right, so just bear with me. I know back in the day you did discus as well as hammer. Was there ever a moment that you thought hammer might be the event for you to take you all the way down?
There never was that moment for me.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I think discus has always been that passion for me. The thing that's always kind of related to dance, which is what I've done before. It just felt like we had that connection, and it was fun to do hammer. I think it provided kind of some relief from that one early focus, but it's always been me in discus.
Love it. How many days a week are we throwing? How many days a week are we lifting?
So right now lifting twice usually, and then maybe a third day with more specific strength stuff. And then we're throwing, honestly, it kind of depends with travel and everything that's going on, but up to 5, honestly. And that could be ball throws versus just discus and different things. We mix that in. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Back in around 2021-22, in your technique, as you were approaching the middle of the ring, you used to have a really pronounced high point. Over the past few seasons, I've seen that kind of almost flatten out a little bit. Was that intentional? And talk to me, what's the science?
It was it's definitely intentional. The orbit, and I think that was one of those things for her, that very steep orbit to the middle that was really glorified actually at that point.
Sure.
And I kind of disagreed, and I think that now her orbit works much more around her body, and we're hitting a lot better angle and a consistent angle. And a lot of times back, before 21, I would say she was definitely would lose a lot of throws early,
sure.
And either cage them or slight right sectors, and no longer is that an issue. And a lot of that has to do with other factors, of course, but the orbit change really was helpful.
Yeah. I love it. Well, listen, thank you guys for all you're doing for women's throwing. Congratulations on qualifying for your second Olympic Games. We are all rooting for you, and we think that we think maybe we talked about Diamond League PBs and all that stuff, but we thinking that we might be able to get a flat-out PB coming from Paris, so we're pulling for you, man. Best of luck.
Thank you so much.
We're going to send it out to Dawn because Dawn's got another segment for us with some more information.
Hello there, people. Guess where I am? Only the greatest of the greatest to ever attend University of Oregon is in this building. You got it. It's the University of Oregon's Hall of Fame. And I'm just going to say, I have been through some Hall of Fames because I'm like in UCLA's Hall of Fame, but that's a topic for another day. I have been through some Hall of Fames, and this here is top notch. But like, what else would you expect? I mean, you've seen the athletic facilities. It's amazing. But as I walk through here, where did my eyes go first? It's the trials, baby. So of course I saw Prefontaine, the great Prefontaine. I love Hall of Fames because there's a shrine where they get to just try and encompass all the hard work, the dedication of these amazing athletes. And I'm gonna just say, Oregon, okay, being in the same conference, sometimes it's a little hard to give them their props, but they doing a doggone thing in here. Did you guys also know that Robert Johnson, one of the greatest coaches to ever do it, has his own spot in here? I mean, I absolutely love it. But I'm just saying, let's go and check out some more of the University of Oregon's Hall of Fame, baby. So I just took a walk through the University of Oregon's Hall of Fame. Mind blown, baby. But I had to stop here before we cut. The Bowerman, all the Bowerman winners. First of all, the fact that they have more than 1, 2, 3, 4, they doing the thing here. But I just want to say, if you have time, come check it out. It's amazing. Once again, the Insider with your girl Dawn. Back to my crew.
Appreciate that, Dawn. Listen, that Bowerman trophy is beautiful, man. I wish I had one of those back in my trophy case. I wish I had one of those Bowerman trophies back in my trophy case, man. That thing is beautiful. I think it's a lot bigger than I thought it was.
It is. They didn't have that when I was in school. I'm a little jealous. Look, not 9.99. Will.
What's that about?
That's okay. I just want you to know.
What's that about?
I thought I was on wireless mics there for a second. When we were predicting the time in the hurdles yesterday, and I was off by a freaking
You see my medal in the corner?
Come on.
I just want y'all to remind y'all.
Get out of here.
You know,
put it there.
I'm going to be the champ.
Listen, for all our viewers out there who's been keeping track of this thing, who's been watching with us, if y'all remember yesterday, they was hating on me in my predictions. You know what I'm saying? They was giving me a hard time. They was telling me I didn't know what was going on and all of that. But, you know, I got my 10 points, man. The proof is in the pudding.
Well, you were talking about your 10 points as if you didn't have the same points as I do.
As we know, in a lot of these races we got going on here, it's a marathon, not a sprint. I'm thankful to just be – listen, yesterday I was feeling bad about it, but now I'm back feeling boisterous, and I'm ready to go. Y'all ready to go?
I'm ready.
Born ready.
Born ready? All right, we're going to get right into the predictions, man. We got a lot of fun ones today. We're getting ready for the men's 110-meter hurdle final. Ooh, the semis were spicy. So I want to know, first things first, who we got winning the 110-meter hurdles?
To save everyone a little bit of time, I'm not going to write words today.
Okay.
You're not going to write words
That didn't
today.
help me.
We're going to count it out.
Yesterday.
3,
We're just going to work in
2,
we're gonna work with initials.
There we go.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like a given for all of us on this one.
Yeah.
I would call this one almost as much of a favorite as Valerie Allman.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree. We're not going to take his victory for granted.
Absolutely
No, all pun intended.
Yeah.
Right.
For granted.
But no, he's been looking great all season, and the way he's been executing over every single hurdle, he's shown that he is prepared for this moment, and he is not playing with anybody in the field. He wants to come out here and be the best.
Like we talked about before, there's a few athletes at this trials who are super heavy favorites, and Grant is one of them, rightly so. Every time he stepped on the track this year, he has looked fantastic, particularly in the semis coming out. Well, in the prelims running 12.92. Yesterday looking clean over the hurdles like I predicted, 12.96, just to qualify for the finals. But he's the only man we've got here in this meet so far going under 13 seconds, so I think he's going to hold it down for us in the finals. Yeah. We're going to roll in the question. Oh, you got something. What you got?
This guy's a little bit undeniable. The man is unflappable. He does not succumb to pressure. He executes on this track time and time again. He's the man.
I agree. And so if we all got Grant, the next question I got for you guys as we talk about the time, okay? 1292. That's the over and under as we talk about the 110 final. I want to know, are we going faster or slower, over or under? 3, 2, 1.
I'm loving Will over here.
This is getting less interesting as we all have so much confidence.
I know.
We do. I'll take this one here. The difference between yesterday and today is, like Michelle talked yesterday about the weather. That's different today. We got
different
sunshine.
Today.
We got a little bit of breeze.
It's nice and warm.
It's beautiful.
There's something about track season when the sun is out. It's nice and warm. You can sweat.
Sure.
Your muscles feel great. You can stay warm. Like I can't wait to see this race because I already know we're going to see some good times because this is track weather.
Track's a warm weather sport.
It is.
Let's be honest.
Yes.
We can do it in anything, but we prefer the warm weather.
That's so funny coming from a distance guy.
Look, I'm saying that it doesn't maybe get the best performances in the distances, but it's still a warm weather sport. We're not going to go out there and complain. Sure. We'll go out there and run. We'll get it done. So I'm a little bit cautious on this under. And I'll tell you why. I started with a vertical line. I didn't know whether to go up or down. So we saw him run 1292 in the semis, in the first round. And one of the things I've always understood about hurdling is like you can't really back off as much as you can in the flat sprints,
sure.
right? You can't shut it down quite in the same way. So I'm hoping for something exceptional, but I was just confident.
Right.
Let's feel it out.
Listen, I think the other part of that too is how good everybody else looked in the semis. Like those other guys they've been running well. Like I don't think there's somebody who's going to make Grant uncomfortable for the win, but I could see somebody being relatively close to hurdle 5, which makes him tap into that second gear. And he's a showman. Like this wonderful crowd, I know he wants to come here and put together a performance, so I'm definitely taking on.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely going to depend on where he's at by hurdle number 5.
Sure.
And if he feel like somebody's too close, he's going to actually probably execute even more to get over the next 5 hurdles. So I think we will see a good time, but the other competitors have came here to give him some pressure. Like this is the Olympic trials. If I have a chance to make it, I got to go out here and do my best every round because one slow time, one missed move, not going over the hurdle properly, you're out. So I can see some people applying some pressure. So that's going to make him even like hone in even more to make sure that he executes the way that he would like to.
Yeah, we're lacking country kits on this starting line, but as Devin Allen pointed out earlier, this is as competitive, if not more competitive, than an Olympic final. I think that's one of the most special things about this track meet in general is the absolute depth of talent that we have in the U.S. So, again, I don't want to be misconstrued here by all of us saying that he's a heavy favorite, like he's going to blow people away in the same sort of Valerie Allman sense. But he's a showman. He executes. The man, this is going to be an incredible race. I'm very much looking forward to this race.
Only 10 barriers stand between Grant Holloway and a large glass of wine, so I look forward to seeing him on the other side of that. We're going to keep this thing rolling.
I look forward to that glass of wine.
Exactly. We're going to keep it rolling. We talked about the 110-meter hurdles. We're moving on to the 200 meters. Listen, the guys look good. The guys look good. Arian Knighton is back. Noah Lyles look fantastic. Kenny Bednarik looks smooth. Christian Coleman look, all the guys, they made it look easy. So the question I got to know is over under 19.75 for the semis of the 200 meters. What you guys thinking?
I'm going to go against what I really want to say, but I'm going to go ahead and say, I spelled that all the way wrong. I thought I was being smart, but let me fix that.
we gonna give Michelle a second to fix. I'm not even going to tell y'all what she had on there. We're gonna let her fix that. Here we go. What we got? Ooh, finally we got some different answers here. Okay, I'm taking the under. Should I go or y'all want to go?
You're the odd man out. Go ahead.
Okay, listen. Let me tell you what I'm thinking. We had Noah Lyles up here talking about Kenny. We also heard him talking to Mix Zone down there talking about Kenny. He said, man, y'all keep talking about a 19.6 guy. They don't know I got the most 19.5s. They don't know I'm the American record holder, right? And listen, the media world is small in track and field. I know Kenny heard that. I watched Kenny run yesterday, and like we talked about earlier, talking about the 110-meter hurdles, the weather we got here, lane preferences, I feel like this is the time where people try to go out and drop a bomb because after the 200 meters, they're going home. So I feel like Kenny Bednarik is going to go out and set the tone and let him know that maybe if I'm a 19.6 guy, I'm going to show you I'm a 19.6 guy in the semis.
Yeah, I want Will to go next. I think he's pulled up what I was thinking in my mind, so go ahead, Will.
Brother.
Yeah, I was just going back through and refreshing the results from yesterday's races, and again, we talked to Noah. To be honest, if there's going to be a person that's going to go under 19.75, it's going to be Noah, and I don't think he's going to do it today. I think he's going to save that for the final.
Have you not learned your lesson?
I have.
No,
if we were in the final,
Exactly.
I'd have a different response. But I think today he's going to go. He told us he likes to shut it down.
Yes.
He's not peacocking in these middle rounds. There's too much on at stake. He's not about to pull up with an injury at this Olympic trials. He's got Olympic gold on his mind. So I think it's going to be a little bit conservative, and that's going to set the tone for the other athletes. How chill can I run 19.8 low?
Yeah, because I thought you was pulling up the start list for today, because in the 200, it definitely depends on who's in your heat or how you're gonna makes you adjust your strategy. But if he comes around that curve and he's out, depending on how far he feels them behind him when he comes around that first 100, he's gonna coast the last 100, and there's no reason to use up all your energy and speed right here in the semifinals when you're so far ahead. So that's why I'm going to say it's going to be over, because I just don't see anybody else really challenging him right now in the semifinal.
Somebody hold me down. I'm telling you, can he look good, baby? Can he look good? ISO on me. Listen, I'm here. I got the under. All my guys, y'all going to hold me down. Don't worry about them, man. We
ain't worried about you, big
rolling.
homie.
We rolling on. We rolling on. In the spirit of 200 meters, we talked about the men, but now it's time to talk about the women. They also look fantastic. Sha'Carri was back in action. We had why am I blanking? Mackenzie Long looked good after her disappointment in the 100 meters. She came back in the 200. Abby Steiner's back on the track. Gabby Thomas looked good. I want to know over or under 21.90 on the time. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, it appears we've got one person who's like the odd person out. Talk to us, Michelle. What you got?
I have under.
Okay.
Because I think at this moment, Sha'Carri definitely has a point to prove, and she is really working out whatever kink she has to work out. So I think she's going to go out here and execute all the way through the line, because at the same time, I think this is showing where she's at in her fitness, and it's going to also build her confidence. I think that's the main thing. She needs that confidence booster right now.
She needs a big one.
And so therefore, she's going to go out there and execute the race that she knows she needs to, so that when she goes into this final, there's no doubt in her mind that she knows that she's ready.
Will, tell her what's up.
All right, so the reason for my over is same. I think to make this team is going to require excellence that we've probably never seen, or at least seen in a recent history in the women's 200 meters. The other reason for my over is the win today usually comes from the north. It's coming from the northwest. So that's going to be a fairly reasonable headwind as the women start off this race and try to accelerate out of the blocks. And so I do believe it's going to slow down that acceleration phase ever so slightly, and then it's going to become survive and advance.
Sure. We're going to keep this thing rolling. We're going to the women's shot put. Michelle Carter's home, Michelle Carter's specialty. Listen, I'm excited for this one. I've been waiting for this one. This is going to be good. The women's shot put, the question here is over under the distance of 19.70 meters.
And this is for qualifying.
For the qualifying.
Yeah.
Will the leading distance of the qualifications be over under 19.7 meters? I want to know.
Let's just be very clear. Under means less far.
Yes. Less far.
I know, because halfway through the conversation, I was second guessing myself. Like, am I answering this correctly? Because now I'm confused.
Yep. we going classic. 19.71 is over. 19.69 is under. 3, 2, 1.
Under.
I got over.
Why?
Listen, I know. It's far. I seen Chase Ely post a video out in Lane, okay? The hard part about the over here is these women are going to be one and done, I believe. I believe they're going to be one and done. But we watched Valerie Allman. We seen that one was 70 meters, okay? Sometimes, like we talked about before, all your body knows how to do is produce far distances, okay? So I'm going out on a limb here. Listen, I could be wrong, but what I see from Chase Ely, I'm expecting her to go here and maybe throw 1982, round number 1, which qualifies as an over. Pack it up, get ready for the final.
And just real quick, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
Ooh, I am for real.
Because Chase Jackson.
Oh, yeah, you're
Chase
right.
Jackson, I apologize.
When you said that, I'm
So
like, I think
listen,
that's her new last name.
Yeah, I trained with Chase for a long time. So when people get
know,
married,
It is very difficult. It is hard.
It is difficult.
It is hard.
And
It's
I
so
love
hard.
when I love when all of our wonderful friends find love. So I will adjust and get used to calling her Chase Jackson, man. But Chase Jackson, Miss Jackson, she gonna hold me down.
Well, I think for a little bit we can say Chase Ely Jackson
There we
just to
go.
make the connection so that the fans understand and everybody's on the same page because it
Absolutely.
can be confusing. But I said under because. I mean, this is my event, number one. And number two,
I feel
I've
very
competed
strongly
with
being
these girls.
aligned with you
Right.
on this right now,
Yeah.
Michelle. I'm not going to lie.
To be honest, I feel like in this competition, to make it to the next round, you don't have to throw that far.
Sure.
And a lot of times, even when I competed, I know where that line and that standard normally is, and I'm trying to get right above that using the least amount of energy because this is almost like a pre-game workout for me where I'm coming into the competition maybe only taking max. I want to take maybe 5 throws. I may have one standing, 3 guys, and then 1 in the competition, and I'm out of there because I want to make sure that I'm going to be fresh and explosive for tomorrow.
Sure.
And so the name of the game in the field event, especially in the throws, is one and done. So when I come out here in this finals, I'm ready.
What she said. I don't know. What am I supposed to add to that? That was perfect. That's the exact analysis that I like to hear and puts even more confidence behind my pick. I think that there's someone in this field that I'm excited to see because, look, we've been celebrating celebrities coming and being a part of track and field. And so none other than Maya Lesnar, her dad Brock, he's here. He's got a whole entourage of security following him around.
Sure.
So those tickets aren't cheap. Those tickets ain't cheap, so
When-
it's
when number
always
one-
going to have butts and stands.
Yeah, it's the Olympic trials. I'm always going to look for that one person to surprise us and to surprise themselves in these type of moments. Because this is, if you want to surprise anybody, it's the time to do it right now.
I love it. Listen, can I get those standings up here one more time? We are in a tight race here for the people following at home. Me and Michelle are tied at 10. We've got Will bringing up the rear in 9.
With 9.99. All right,
Okay.
it was a close third.
We've got
He's in
a
close third.
We got a lot of points hanging out there in the balance today. We're going to go inside the track and see what it's all about. But we are going to send it into the Peacock stream right now because Carol Winger is about to grace the track in the women's javelin. Take it easy. We'll see y'all tomorrow.